This is your host Tom, coming to you from 734Games. And today we have a lot of things to talk about with games. You see, right now there is a scary trend. You see, it seems that games and tech companies have gotten together to ban people. You have Rainbow Six Siege, where they're banning gamers who are maybe Spanish, and they type in the word for black for Spanish, and they get banned automatically. And this is something that's been running around the industry, leaking around. We got guys from NPD like Matt Piscatella saying that game companies should fire toxic gamers. Now, who are toxic gamers, and who's going to define who toxic gamers are? If you do it automatically like Rainbow Six Siege, you just end up banning people randomly. That doesn't help the industry one bit. And it seems like there is a move toward cloud gaming. What is that? I mean, you have tech companies already getting together, like YouTube and Spotify and Facebook, all got together and banned Alex Jones. He's a radio show host. I know a lot of people don't like him, but you look at that sort of behavior, and then you look at Microsoft, who also happens to be a game company, and they happen to be one of the bigger cloud companies in the world. Not as big as Amazon for cloud. Amazon's really kicking their butt in that area, but what they did to Gab, their host, Microsoft as a web host, is now moderating as a web host, which is ridiculous because I've been around since the internet started. And the internet, if you are a web host, you are not supposed to moderate. That's what makes the internet different from television and the film industry and other industries and radio, is that the hosts do not moderate. If you don't like something somebody says, maybe you can sue them or whatever. If they didn't like some of the anti-Semitic tweets on Gab AI, or not really, they're not called tweets, whatever you want to call them, posts, then have the JDL sue the guy's pants off. I mean, let the courts and the government handle those things. But Microsoft obviously said they were going to pull service if this company didn't have this guy take his post down. And that was Microsoft forced them to violate their own terms of service. And that's what you see going on right now. And you look at Microsoft, they want their cloud to be what you use for most of your day-to-day computing. And they also want you to use their cloud for their next Xbox Scarlet. Because the biggest emphasis in the next generation, I always leave articles down below my video on WordPress, so you can find them. If you're on, I'll leave a link to my WordPress on my YouTube, so you can find the sources for all this information. But Microsoft is putting more energy into the cloud than they are the next Xbox. The cloud version of the Xbox is going to get most of the new content, and now it's going to have an app, a cloud service that comes with it that you have to pay for, but you'll also be able to access that cloud on other devices, so it won't be bound to that next Xbox. And you see that, and you're thinking, okay, with these companies, with American companies wanting to fire toxic gamers and all this banning going on, what's going to happen when you post something on Facebook and Microsoft finds out about it? And they will find out about it, and if it's something they disagree with, they're going to ban you from their cloud service. It's all great to see someone like Alex Jones get banned until everybody loses their freedom of speech, and it is censorship. And a lot of people are acting like, no, it's not censorship, and I still love my Xbox, and Microsoft's going to be good. No, they're probably not. And you have all the other companies. You see this push for online games. Even at Bethesda, you see Fallout 76. They could have made another Fallout game. They could have made another Skyrim game, or another Elder Scrolls game, and made it single player, but they don't want to anymore. You see who is it? Bethesda just sued a guy for selling a copy of his game that was still in the brand new packaging. He was selling it as new, and they sued him because these companies don't want you selling their game secondhand. They want to squeeze every little penny out of you, and that seems to be the new trend with the American games and tech companies right now. Is they want to squeeze you for services. They want to rinse you for every little penny with downloadable content and microtransactions. And that seems to be the newest. Not newest trend. That seems to be where it's all going. I think that most of the American game companies, or most of the Western game companies, next generation, you're going to end up with a lot of all online games. Most of the games are going to be all online. They're going to have DLC and microtransactions and season passes and everything else. And that's what you're going to get because they're out. Oh yeah, and you're going to get banned if you say something on one platform, and it'll get back to the other platform because they're obviously getting together. They're obviously working together. See, YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, those platforms got together and banned Alex Jones at the same time. And it wasn't because he said things about Sandy Hook or because he said, he had other theories that they didn't like. It was because he released a video about homosexuality, saying that basically this whole push for homosexuality in our culture is backed by the CIA, and it was declassified, and it was a depopulation program, and that's what it was. It was about hate speech, and that's who it was about. The Sandy Hook thing, that wasn't even something he said. He had a guest on the show who said that Sandy Hook never happened. He actually never said that. And that's where we're at right now. And I don't think it's gonna get. I think it's gonna get much worse before it gets better. And I do not see the Xbox. I think the Xbox is gonna be a really bad place to play. And when I saw Microsoft, moderating Gab from as a host, I decided to I had to take my Xbox. I have a PlayStation 4. I have a PC. I don't really need an Xbox. I mean, there's no reason for me to have an Xbox. I can play all the games. And I'm sure when the Scarlet Cloud comes out, if I really want to play Xbox games, and if I'm not banned, I can go on and I can, download that little Clouds app and play their games. Because that's what everybody, I'm sure that they want I'm sure Microsoft wants their games available on the PlayStation 4. So you guys who are sticking with Microsoft because you're fanboys and you're beta fanboys, you guys are going to get screwed over too. And I hope that people eventually get smart enough to walk away from these overreaching social network platforms and these cloud gaming services, because Microsoft is just basically a money scheme. They don't care about games. They're not going to make single player games for you guys. And I think Bethesda's going in that direction too. And you see EA, you see Ubisoft, all these companies are going in that direction with their little ban toxic gamers. And the truth is, the games were one place where men had a place to enjoy one of their favorite hobbies, and that's something that they couldn't stand. So they had to make changes. They want games to be more inclusive. I mean, there's always Sony and there's always Nintendo, and I think they really want Sony to do crossplay so they can amalgamate them into this whole banning of gamers. And I don't think Sony wants to be involved in that, and I don't think Nintendo does either. They may have online services, but I do not think they'll be banning gamers, across their whole platform like Microsoft probably will. So, I mean, you guys who think it's good that Alex Jones got banned, you think it's good that they went after Gab, just wait until you're banned from, until you're banned from your Xbox. You get on and you try to log in and you're banned. And that's where this is all going. So that's pretty much it for this episode of 734 Games. This is your host, Tom. If you like this video, you can hit the star button on WordPress, or you can hit the thumbs up on YouTube, or you can subscribe on YouTube or WordPress, or you can hit the thumbs down, whatever, if you want to make some comments, go ahead. But basically, you can connect these dots for yourself. Look at the articles that I'm dropping for you guys in the description, and look for yourself and see what I'm saying. Look at what I'm talking about, and see what I'm trying to tell you. And I just think that if you don't come to the same conclusion that all this censorship is scary, then you're probably an idiot. One of the things that's close to my heart is the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. Two things. And I see Microsoft going after one. And both of them really cannot exist alone. So that's pretty much it for this episode of 734 Games. Goodbye from 734 Games, where gaming lives.